Good morning. Continuing reading my 2015 article, The Possibility of Eco-literate Music Pedagogy and Topics for Music Education Praxis. I'm on page 14 now, A Spiritual Praxis for Ecological Literacy. To me, it seems that a teacher enacting eco-literate music pedagogy must be self-reflective, conscious of herself and her environment, and striving for greater integration, transcendence, and consciousness, and, in short, a spiritual person. Educator, author, and activist Parker Palmer defines spirituality as teaching as an eternal human yearning to be connected with something larger than our own egos. Nature is larger than our own egos. A spiritual praxis for music education, within the context of this definition, is about much more than a student's individual and artistic feeling about music or her experiences isolated in the practice room. A spiritual music educator is rather an experience for teacher. A spiritual music education is rather an experience for teachers and students with the self, with mystery, and with nature. Thomas Berry suggests we have silenced too many of those wonderful voices in our universe that spoke to us of the grand mysteries of existence. And humans, as an integral part of the living environment, can be understood as a way for nature, Mother Earth, to reflect upon herself. Deep ecology provides a spiritual philosophy for developing bioregional spirit and ecological consciousness. Duvall Sessions described deep ecology as, quote, emerging as a way of developing a new balance and harmony between individuals, communities, and all of nature. It can potentially satisfy our deepest yearnings, faith and trust in our most basic institutions, courage to take direct action, joyous confidence to dance with the sensuous harmonies discovered through the spontaneous, playful intercourse with the rhythms of our bodies, the rhythm of the flowing water, changes in the weather and seasons, and the overall processes of life on Earth. End quote. This description of deep ecology seems to demand expression in music education pedagogy. Sheena's vignette can be modified for this type of spiritual experience, as teachers and students focus on creative responses and dialogue about rhythms of human and non-human life. Duvall and Sessions recommend relevant to music teachers that we enact earth bonding rituals celebrating specific places. These rituals, according to the authors, purify the location by providing an outlet for our emotions, fears, joys, and focusing our actions. Inspired by deep ecology, after Sheena uses the students' compositions to facilitate dialogue about global ecological issues, her class might choose to enact an earth bonding ritual at their local park through a musical performance for their local community. Such a ritual has the opportunity to help people recover an integral relation with the universe, the planet Earth, and the North American continent. Musical ritual, embedded within a spiritual praxis for music education, can enable people to reconnect to the ecosystem, its seasons, its non-human life and soil. Upton's vignette. Upton teaches middle school, ages 12 to 14, wind band, which is rehearsing Michael Orr's Jefferson Forest sketches. Upton has the students study the composition description on the J.W. Paper website. This programmatic work depicts the beauty and grandeur of the Jefferson National Forest. The students are directed to discuss on how or if the music evokes the seemingly endless expanse of wilderness. Employing deep ecological questioning, Upton asks students, what is wilderness? What is a wild animal? Are you a wild animal? What does it mean to be wild versus domesticated? The students then are assigned homework to explore the USDA National Forest Service webpage to identify how much of the forest is wilderness and how wilderness is defined in this context. This leads to conversations about the impact of even small groups of people, even without motorized equipment and mechanical support, as well as the health of the ecosystem without its traditional large predators. Jefferson Forest Sketches provides a springboard for deeper understanding of the bioregion, leading towards ecological literacy. Conclusion. We're on page 15. I begin this conclusion with hope. It is my hope that in 10 years, the vision shared in this paper will seem somewhat antiquated. I hope it inspires music educators to share the eco-literate music work they already do and further imagine a future focus on eco-literate music pedagogy. In other words, I hope putting the theory of ecological literacy into practice in music education results in a new practice contributing to theory. As such, this discussion has provided music teachers with plausible and comprehensible theory in ecological literacy and deep ecology, and opening possibilities for considering and practicing eco-literate music pedagogy. Music education has the potential to provide meaningful insight into ecological crises facing the world, especially through sonic experience and ritualization of ecological experiences. According to Bowman and Frege, quote, philosophical inquiry does not so much solve problems as transform them into other problems that are more compelling, more relevant to practice, richer in implication for action. Each section of this current paper offered new questions which were rich in implication for action. Further, this paper presents a challenge for music education. Ecological literacy requires the development of ecological consciousness, and as, through music and other means, students connect to local spaces to become aware of global issues, the ecological crises can be addressed. Nature has an inherently musical aspect that can be explored in music classrooms, and if music education will matter to future generations of humans on our planet, music will need to help us understand the nature of the environmental crisis and lead us towards sustainable living. And a quote from Barry, we need to see the earth in its sequence of transformations as so many movements in a musical composition. The sequence of events that emerge in time need to be understood simultaneously. As in music, the earlier notes are gone when the later notes are played, but the musical phrase, indeed the entire symphony, needs to be heard simultaneously. Each new theme alters the meaning of the earlier themes in the entire composition. The opening theme resonates throughout the later parts of the piece. End quote. In response to this paper's title, as an important possibility, music education can play an essential role in helping humanity develop ecological consciousness. Okay, in this section, I talk about how in 10 years, perhaps the questions in this paper will be irrelevant because everybody is already doing something similar and maybe even taking it further. Now, here's the challenge. There's some people, Vince Bates, Tanya Smith, Pepe Barcelos, around the globe, right? Silke Schmidt, Linus Usterbuck, that are doing this, right? And they're pushing it. But the Bowman and Frege quote, philosophical inquiry does not so much solve problems as transform them into other problems that are more compelling, more relevant to practice, and richer in implication for action. Well, here we are 10 years later, right? 10 years after this paper. And I don't know that we have had the critical mass of people working on this to be really pushing for more compelling, more relevant to practice, and richer implications for actions questions. Okay, I'll continue next time with the next part of the conclusion titled A Connecting Venture, which is on page 16. Have a great day.